Well, I'm Susan Bartlett. I'm with Longmont Power and Communications. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, SRL and the Citizens Climate Lobby, for hosting this event. What's important about things like this is it's more education, it's more information, and I would resoundingly repeat that it's an opportunity for you to make a plan, like both of the mics said. And I'm also excited because we're talking about electrification here, and not just here, but all over our community, and it's moving from concept to implementation. A lot of you are thinking about doing that, and so we encourage you to continue on that journey, but I also wanted to tell you a little bit about what's happening at our local level and with the utility. So about this time last year in 2022, we completed our community-wide building electrification plan. And we've been working really diligently on a lot of the strategies that are included in that plan, but I wanted to highlight a few things for you so you know what we're up to. First, we've been tracking solar installations since 2008 in the city, but we haven't put together a lot of processes or procedures for tracking other kinds of things that are related to electrification, like heat pumps or electric vehicles or solar plus storage. And now we have ways that we can do that so that we can start to see trends and rates of adoption in our community, and we can also identify how that's going to impact our grid. So we're excited about those new changes. Also, we have our partners with Efficiency Works. That's our rebate administrator through Platte River Power Authority. They're out in the hall. I want you to talk to them a lot today about what they're offering related to electrification rebates. They've really stepped up and made some things possible for folks that might not have been possible otherwise. And they're really our connection to the contractor trade. You guys have probably heard a lot about, yeah, I'd love to do it, but I can't get a contractor's attention to come to my house and help me. Efficiency Works and Platte River, they're working really hard with their contractor network to provide training, to provide spiffs for installing the kinds of equipment we want to see on our grid, and also even providing some grants to help contractors get their technicians certified. So that not only are they providing customers with resources, but they're helping our workforce as well. You've heard a little bit about induction cooking this morning. We have 2 stations out here in the hall, one with Longmont Power and one with Boulder County, because Boulder County has a loaner program, kind of like a library. You can check out one of those induction cooktops for about 2 weeks. Try it out. It comes with the cookware, so you don't have to replace your cookware right away. And then the beauty of it now is you had to pick up the kit and drop off the kit in Boulder. But now you can pick up and drop off the kit at the service center on Sherman here in Longmont. And I highly encourage you to take advantage of that kind of free loaner program to determine if it's something that you might want to do in your space. Another thing that I'm kind of excited about, actually I'm really excited about it, because electrification is expensive for a lot of people, and that means it's not as accessible. So we're working with the Sustainability Office as well as Housing and Community Investments on a program that's going to help some of our income qualified residents in Longmont experience electrification. Maybe they don't have cooling now, and we can add a heat pump for cooling. But we don't want their bills to go up a lot. So we're also coming in and doing weatherization work. We're looking at health and safety concerns in the home and adding other electrification where we can, so those customers come out with kind of a whole home solution that hopefully won't cost them a lot more in utilities. It's a small demonstration program. We're looking at just a few building types, but we're hoping as part of the demonstration we can come away with really good data about how much stuff really costs and what it looks like in certain housing types and ages, and how can we weave a lot of different programs together to find the funding to make some of these deep retrofits possible. So stay tuned. We're going to bring back the information that we learn, and we hope it's something that we can scale in future years. We also have an electrification webpage on the city's website now. it's really hard to keep up with all the information out there about electrification right now, but this is our attempt to try and keep current, credible information available to you. We want to link you to resources. We want to answer some frequently asked questions, and we want to try and keep that up. So if you have a chance, go take a look. Kind of related to the consistency and credibility in information, we're also active in a regional effort to standardize how we talk about electrification, because it's complicated. And there are a lot of myths out there. And so we want to work as a region, because many of our contractors cross jurisdictions. We want to work as a region to give people the best possible information for making decisions about their spaces, and also pointing them in the right direction when the time is right for rebates and tax incentives and that kind of thing. We want you to be as informed as possible when you start on your journey. So stay tuned for more there. And then finally, we're working to increase EV charger infrastructure in our community. This year, LPC has added a residential and a multifamily EV charger rebate program. The good news is we've had a lot of interest. The not as good news is we're out of money for this year, but we're going to do it again next year. So be sure and watch the website. And then Efficiency Works has also got a commercial EV charger infrastructure rebate. So if you're a business and you want to install a level 2 charger for public use in your space, Efficiency Works has a rebate to help you pay for a panel upgrade or some of the wiring that's going to be involved in making that happen. So there's just a lot going on. And there are a lot of things that are driving electrification, whether it's how you feel about climate. You know, we've had an extraordinarily hot summer, maybe not here in Longmont, but in many other places in the country and the world. You might be motivated by the tax incentives that are available, or the rebates, or your equipment is going to die soon and you just want something better. So there are a lot of things that are driving electrification, which is great. We couldn't have anticipated all the things that would contribute to the momentum that I think we're seeing in this market. But what that means for us as a utility, for LPC as a utility, and for Platte River, is we're experiencing more load on our system. At the same time that we're working really hard to hit that 100% renewable electric supply goal by 2030, and that's a balance that we have to be able to achieve. And some of the ways that we're achieving that balance are up here on the slide. The first one is neither new, nor sexy, nor exciting, but it is my favorite. And Mike talked about this too. Energy efficiency is kind of our baseline. Do it. Do it first. Do it before you buy any new equipment, because the fact is the less we use, the less we have to generate, and the less we have to manage and balance. Plus, if you're more energy efficient in your space, likely you'll have to buy equipment that doesn't have a big capacity for a big inefficient space. So keep those things in mind. Another thing that I'm excited about that's going to help us in this balancing act is our new advanced metering infrastructure that's going out. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. Some of you may even have one of our new smart meters on your home at this point. But this is going to give LPC an opportunity to have data that we've never had before. And it'll give us insight into how power is moving on our grid, when it's being used, and it's going to help us kind of manage our infrastructure better. And it opens up some opportunities for us to be able to work with you in controlling our load over time. We're also seeing a lot more local solar that's being installed in our area, and the exciting thing is that some of that solar is now starting to come with batteries, which to me is the best way to install solar, because then you can generate when the sun's shining at night. You can discharge from that battery, and then you're not, not a burden to the grid. So that's exciting. And then customers are getting very interested in installing smart devices in their homes. And that's where we need to work together as a community. I'll say there's one more thing that may not be up here on the slide, and that is that we're working with Platte River for some utility-owned storage here in our own community that will help us manage our load and balance that. That's coming up, and we're excited about that. I want to talk just a little bit more about AMI because it is such a big deal for us. There are benefits to the grid. There are also benefits to our customers and benefits to helping us achieve our community goals. Some of the things, I'm going to talk about the grid here, but it's new technology for us. We've had our current metering system for a long time where we send meter readers out and individually read each meter. This new advanced technology is going to allow us to automatically read those meters, and it's going to be in real time, and that provides a lot of advantages for us as a utility. Again, it helps us understand how power flows on our system. It helps us identify constraints. It will help us identify where we have outages more efficiently so that we can get to them faster and solve the problems faster. It's also going to give us a better sense for when people are using power and how much, and we can start to define our grid load a little better within the community. It's going to help us as more distributed energy resources come online. And I think one of the things that most people think about with this is kind of that real-time troubleshooting. Instead of us kind of trying to figure out, we know we have an outage because we've had people call in, but then we kind of have to go track it down and narrow it and then address it. AMI is going to give us the opportunity to be more efficient and identify those things more quickly and more efficiently, so you get your power back on more quickly. And then the benefits for customers, and our community, there's some crossover here. Again, that real-time data means that you will have access to your own real-time data in the future, and I think this particular crowd is probably really interested maybe in what your data looks like, because it informs why your bill might be higher than you think it should be, or how you might modify your behavior or the things that you use in your house if you want to reduce your costs. And right now we don't have a great way to communicate that information to you, but once we have our AMI in place and we have customer dashboards available in the future, you'll be able to do that. And it just gives you visibility into the way that you use energy in your home. And we think that's really important, especially as you're making that plan to electrify your home. It's also a kind of a gateway technology for us to be able to interact more effectively with our customers and provide more choices. Right now, we can't have time of use or EV charging rates because we don't know when you're using energy. We know at the end of the month how much you've used, but we don't know when you've used it. And so we can't incentivize you to use it at one time or another, or to have flexible devices that help us control our load because we don't know when you're using that energy. So that's a benefit. Also, I think it's going to be a key tool for us, LPC and Platte River, as we figure out how to manage our load while also adding more renewable energy, and that's intermittent energy. So again, it's going to allow us to work more closely with our customers to be able to dial in our load when we have more renewable energy available. We want you to use more. When we have less available and it's more expensive, we want to be able to signal you and give you opportunities to use less. So it's going to help us get to these goals more quickly. And then I want to wrap up with just a little more information about solar, because it is something that's way more popular than energy efficiency. People like to talk about this much more because it's visible, you can see it, and it's nice to be able to think that you're generating your own energy. But what I can tell you is we're seeing a lot more systems come online in our community, and in fact, in the past 2 years, I think we've doubled the number that we had from 2008 until 2021. And that's for a variety of reasons. People are trusting the technology. There are good tax incentives that have been extended. People want to be more independent. There are a lot of things that are motivating that. And we encourage that. What we also encourage is anytime you can pair solar with battery. That's a great solution. Batteries are still really expensive. We're not seeing as many, but we are seeing some, and that's encouraging. Also, we're working on a community solar subscription program. It's taken us a little while to get it off the ground because we wanted to identify, she's telling me to stop. Thank you. So this is coming in 2024, and it's a way for us to provide access to solar for folks who are income qualified and might not be able to install solar on their own home. And I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead really quickly to our net metering. We don't currently have rebates for solar, as many of you probably know. We feel like our net metering program is a subsidy for solar customers, and the reason we believe this is because any energy that a solar customer pushes back onto our grid, we buy back at the full retail rate. And we could buy that power from Platte River at a much lower rate, and so all the other ratepayers that don't have solar are subsidizing those customers that do have solar by buying back at that retail rate. And I think all of us can agree that the people that probably need subsidies in our community are not the ones that have the resources to put solar on their homes. We could probably provide greater benefit with subsidy to other customers. And because we're trying to figure out the equity involved in our net metering program, we're doing a value of solar study right now. We won't have any results until 2024, and we'll definitely bring those back and share them. But we want to make sure that we're providing the right value at the right time for the right reasons, and making sure that we're providing access to all of our ratepayers and not just a few. So stay tuned for more on that. And with that, I know that we need to make room for other people. So thank you so much for listening today.